welcome back to my channel. It's Casey with Russo Resells. I am going to walk through the sales that I've had the last 3 days, which is Wednesday, September 10th, yesterday, Thursday, September 11th, and today is Friday, September 12th. It is about noon today, so I do want to get these packaged up and sent off to the post office. So we will jump right into it. The first sale that I had on Wednesday, the 10th, were these Judy Blue maroon wide leg pants. Perfect for fall, just a really nice comfort stretch waist. I love these. I had them listed for $35 and my Posher VA sent out a 20% offer. Off offer, and that was $28, which the buyer did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $5.60, and I left with a profit of $22.40. I did get those in a half off Salvation Army sale, so I only paid about $4 or $5, which ultimately left my true profit of about $17. Now, my next item are really cool. They're by Anthropology, and they're these chartreuse, another pair of wide, really wide leg, long length or full length pants. I thought those were really cool, so that's why I picked them up. I didn't expect to get a lot for them, and I did sit on them for, I want to say, at least 8 to 9 months. I had them listed for $40 originally, and as I stated recently, I dropped my prices in my Poshmark closet by 10%, so they were then listed at $36. A buyer came in and offered me $20, and since I hadn't had any interest in them on all of the platforms I sell on, I did accept that. My fees to Poshmark were $4, and I left with a $16 profit. I remember that I got these in a thrift store out in Palm Desert. My husband and I go to Indian Wells tennis tournament every year, and I got these last year at the tournament, so last March, and I paid about $6 to $7 for them maybe, so still a good profit. Probably would not pick them up next time, or I would try to market them better. Now my next sell is this Democracy top, and it is new with tags. Usually I only buy Democracy, their jeans, but I just thought because it was such a beautiful blouse, this nice floral print in the peasant style, and because it was new with tags, I would pick it up. I did have it listed on Poshmark for $25. Someone actually just came in and paid full price for that item. My fees paid to Poshmark were $5, and I was left with a profit of $20. I did get this at a Savers for $10 plus 20% off, so for around $8, so I doubled, if not a little bit more than doubled my money, which I'm very happy with. Now, this next item to sell was on Mercari, which we all know can be hit or miss. It is this new with tags. It's called Fashion to Figure. Not a brand that I would necessarily look for in the thrift store. However, this was new with tags, and I did get it at a half off Salvation Army sale, so I figured why not. It's this beautiful ruffle floral sheer, and it is actually not even a dress, it is a romper, which is really cool. It's just very beautiful. I actually didn't expect it to sell right now in the fall or winter. I thought that I would have to sit on it for a little bit, so I'm very happy with that. I had it listed on Mercari for $34.99, and I do offer free shipping on that platform. A buyer came in and offered me $29.25, and so I didn't have to wait until spring or summer. I did take that offer. My fees paid to Mercari were $2.92, and it cost me $7.10 to ship. My overall profit was $19.23, and I probably got that item for about $4 or $5. So the last three items that I showed you all were sold yesterday. So the Anthropology, the Democracy, and the Fashion to Figure, and I have two others that sold yesterday that we are going to get into. So the second to last sale that sold yesterday is this Jam's World. I believe it's 100% linen. Let me see. It might be, yeah, 100% linen. They were these really nice crop, I want to say straight leg pants. And usually I wouldn't pick up something so basic from them, but they were 100% linen. And I did mention in the listing that one of the loopholes did come off, but it can easily be sewn on. So these are a size small. They're 100% linen. I figured I'd pick them up for the $4 or $5 that I paid for them. I had them listed on eBay for $27.99 plus $7 shipping. A buyer offered me $23 plus $7 shipping, which I did accept. So I paid $6.24 to ship the item. I did have this item promoted, so those fees were $1.88. And my fees to eBay were $4.39, which left me with a profit of $17.49. And like I said, after paying $4 or $5 for that item, I am very happy with that return. Now, the next item, I am not particularly happy with the return, but I am very happy to see it moving, and this buyer actually really wanted this item, so I am happy to be able to provide such a good price for her. So this brand, I usually always pick it up no matter how basic it is, and this tag is very washed, but it is Everlane, and it is this ivory hooded sweatshirt. It does have multiple stains on it, but it says 100% human. And that's why I got it. I thought it was a really cool piece. Like I said, it does have multiple stains. So the buyer actually sent me an offer. And with that offer, she sent me a message. And the message basically stated that she felt comfortable only paying a certain amount of money because of the flaws. And I thought that was very nice of her to even send a message and just not even, say anything. A lot of people will just send an offer and that be that. But because she did send me a message and she was very genuine, very nice with her words, I did let her know that this item, there wasn't any other like it out listed. And because of that reason, I would still honor a lower price, but I didn't want to go lower than $15. So I had it listed for $34.99 plus $10 shipping. She offered me a $7.01 offer, which I then countered at $15, and I sent her that message back. She then sent me an offer of $10 and said, look, this is really where I'm comfortable at paying, just because those significant flaws. I really would love this piece. I want to keep it in rotation. I don't want it going to the landfill. And for that reason, for that communication from her, I just decided to take the offer. And I decided to be able to give a person a great deal and for her to allow me to recycle this item back into, rotation of human closets instead of being in the landfill. So I did accept the $20 offer. It cost me $7.67 to ship. My promotion fees, because I did have this promoted, were $1.10, and my fees to eBay were $3.20. And I ended up making $8.03. That is another item that I got out at the Indian Wells tennis tournament when my husband and I visited their thrift stores. And I did have an average of about $7 cost of goods for that entire trip. So I'm only making really $1 off of that hoodie. However, because of the communication that was extended to me from the buyer and how much she genuinely just wanted this item and wanted to reuse it and rescue it from the landfill, I was much more willing to accept that offer. And I really appreciate those buyers who maybe you would think over communicate, but really the communication is key. And as a seller, I really, really appreciate that transparency. We are now going to move on to the 4 sales I had this morning. So the first were on eBay. They are a pair of these Disney 100 anniversary. They're a 2XL spell out jogger. And they're just very comfy, very cozy. Just love the print. And before you tell me that I had these priced too low, there was a strategy. A lot of these were listed for anywhere from $35 to $45 plus $10 shipping. So I undercut the market, and I listed mine for $31.99 plus $10 shipping. And mind you, I have 3 pairs. A buyer came in, paid full price, and it cost me $6.21 to ship. My fees to eBay were $6.13, and my profit was about $29.65. I got those for about $4 to $5, so I'm very, very happy with that return. And like I said, I have 3, so I'm just waiting for the other 2 to sell. And pretty much just selling one of these paid for all of them plus a little profit. So I'm always happy to do multi-quantity because it means that I only have one listing and multiples, and I don't really have to do any more work. I do want to mention with that order also that the shipping that I paid, the $6.21, it was so low because I'm located in California and the buyer is also located in California. So I do a flat rate shipping on eBay because it is easiest for me. I don't necessarily refund any overage just because I take that as kind of like a processing fee or a packaging fee on my end. Of course, if a buyer does reach out and they ask for a refund, I will indeed do that. But for the majority of the United States to where I'm shipping, so anywhere from California to Hawaii to New York to Florida to the other side of the country, it would probably cost actually over than $10. So I just make sure to weigh the item, and by the weight, I'll go ahead and put a flat rate shipping. Tangent aside, just wanted to let you know how I did my shipping over on eBay. But the next item I had sell was on Poshmark. They are these REI Co-op, just these nice burgundy skinny leggings, outdoor hiking leggings. Very, very nice. I had a lot of interest in these. I'm surprised they didn't sell sooner, to be honest. I had them listed at $25 on Poshmark. A buyer offered me $17, which I did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $3.40, and I walked away with $13.60. I probably had anywhere from $2 to $4 into those from a half off Salvation Army sale, so I am very happy with that profit. The last 2 items that sold this morning I don't have with me. They're still in my inventory. They actually sold after I pulled all of these other orders, but I'll go ahead and put screenshots right here of them so I can let you know obviously what they are. So the first one is this Abercrombie & Fitch Y2K long sleeve sweetheart maroon thermal layer comfort size small. That is the exact listing that I had it under, and this had, I want to say, over 40 watchers on eBay. Someone did purchase it on eBay and then quickly asked to cancel it, saying that they did not have the correct address. So I went ahead and canceled the item, and the next day someone else came in on Poshmark and bought it for full price. I had it listed at $25. My Posher VA sent out a $20 offer without discounted shipping, and that was accepted. My fees that I paid to Poshmark were $4, and I ended up with $16, which I am very happy with because I believe I did get this at a $2.99 Salvation Army sale. And last but not least, it wouldn't be a what sold if I didn't have a consignment sale come through, and I'll post it right here. It is this tannery. Let me go ahead and get exactly what I put it was. It is this vintage Tannery West genuine leather bomber moto jacket in a men's size small/medium. I did put in the description to go ahead and look at the measurements in the photos so they can see if the item would fit them. I had it listed for $55 and a buyer offered me $30, which I did accept. And our fees to Poshmark were $6. That left my consignment client with a $14.40 profit, and I walked away with $9.60. I want to remind you that this consignment client does not care about the profit. He just simply wants his clothing out of his closet and into a new home. So he is very happy with that, and I am too. I hope that you loved this what sold, and until next time, my friends, take care. I thought we were done there. However, I am remembering now that I'm packaging these orders up. It is now September 12th. On Poshmark, we are no longer using the USPS priority mailers or boxes. So just brief reminder there. I did try to reach out to the post office to get their free Ground Advantage shipping supplies, but they have not reached back out to me, so I will be emailing them later today. Please go ahead and do that if you do ship out any orders on Poshmark. Thank you guys so much, and until next time. Okay, all, it is Saturday, September 13th, and we have 4 sales to pack up and ship out. The first one is actually already packaged. My husband had to Frankenbox it, which he did a fantastic job of doing. It was featured in a recent thrift haul I showed you all. It is the Diamond Dots Vatican scene, and it actually sold on Mercari, believe it or not. I had it listed for $29.99 plus free shipping, and a buyer offered me $21.25, which I did accept. My fees to Mercari were $2.12, and it cost me exactly $10 to ship, so I left with a profit of $9.13. I did want to mention that for the Diamond Dots box, I will be putting a sticker on each side to let the post office know that this is a fragile item. The next item to sell is this lot of skincare samples. It's by 111 Skin, and I did buy some products at Nordstrom of theirs, so my rep gave me these samples, and I had them listed on eBay for $24.99 plus free shipping. A buyer offered me $20, which I did accept. It cost me $4.35 to ship. My fees to eBay were $3.17, and I did have this item promoted, so those fees were $1.09. And I left with a profit of $11.39, which is great because it helped pay for what I was already purchasing. Now, my next item to sell on eBay is this beautiful linen parakeet jeweled top. And it is a size medium, so since it was a smaller size and we are going out of the summer season, I did have it priced very reasonably at $24.99 plus $5 shipping. A buyer sent me an offer of $15.59 plus $5 shipping, which I did accept. It cost me $4.80 to ship. My promotional fees, because I did have this item promoted, were $1.11, and my fees to eBay were $3.23. And my total profit was $11.45. I also like to use these black bubble mailers for things that I ship that are like these skin products because it does keep them protected, and I will put on those fragile stickers on this as well. So the last item, and I do want to mention, and I haven't before, that those items that I just showed you were sold yesterday, Friday, September 12th. So I've only had one sale so far today, and that is this Karl Lagerfeld Paris mauve top. It's very, very pretty, very career, very chic, just very elegant. I just love that ruffle detailing right there. So I had this listed on eBay for $24.83 plus $7 shipping, and a buyer went in and paid that outright. Cost me $5.70 to ship. I did have this item promoted, so I paid $2.07 for that, and my fees to eBay were $4.78, and I made a profit of $19.28. I am very happy with that profit because this piece it's an elevated basic, but it is pretty basic for what that brand generally does. So happy with that profit. I only paid $2.99 for it at a Salvation Army sale, so you really can't go wrong there. We do have a little helper today. Her name is Miss Mocha. This is my sister's dog. We're watching her for a week, so if you do hear any disturbances in the background, or not disturbances, just like little rustles and stuff, it probably is her. So just wanted to let you know. Say hi, Miss Mocha. Yes. Oh, she baby. It is now Monday, September 15th, and I had one more sale on Saturday when we left off, and I actually had 7 sales yesterday. So let's go ahead and get through those pretty quickly. The last sale I had on Saturday is by Express, and these are just a pair of charcoal, as you can tell, trousers. So I do have those, and these are a consignment client item, and I had them listed pretty reasonably just to get them out of my closet because it's really hard to sell trousers right now. They were an 8 long, so the longer sizes tend to move quicker for me. I had them listed on Poshmark for $25. I received an offer of $18 from a buyer. Our fees to Poshmark were $3.60, and my consignee was left with $8.64, and I was left with $5.76. As I said before, my consignment client gets 60% and I get 40%. Moving on to yesterday's sales. So the first sale I had was by COS, C-O-S, and it is this off-white long sleeve boxy blouse, and it has this real cool pleating on the back. And from my understanding, COS is an elevated H&M sub-brand, sub-brand, I think. And I picked that up primarily because the pleating on the back, I just thought that was very unique. So I had this listed on eBay for $28 plus $7 ship. A buyer came in and offered me $24 plus $7 ship, which I did accept. My shipping cost was $6.82, and my fees to eBay were $4.74, which left me with a profit of $19.44. Very happy with that. It is quite a basic piece, but like I said, COS is known for their elevated basics. Well, also their basics too, but because of that pleating, it did have a lot more going for it. Now, I sold after that one, I sold this is Gap. It is this red floral corduroy girl's dress, and I just thought this was so adorable. Very fitting for the holidays. I actually have one more listed in my closet. I found 2 in the same print and the same size, which is awesome. I had this listed on eBay for $19.99 plus $5 shipping, a buyer sent me a $15 offer plus $5 shipping, and it was really cute. She actually messaged me stating that her granddaughter would love this dress. So I was very happy to accept that offer. The shipping cost me $6.02. I did have this item promoted at 5%, so those fees were $1.20, and my fees to eBay were $2.94, which left me with a profit of $9.84. I am very happy to make that return on a kids item. Kids items generally are priced much lower than adult items, so making anywhere over from $5 to $10 is ideal when it comes to listing those types of items. The next item is very exciting. I did have it listed for quite a lot, and it sold, I want to say, for half price, but this is by Bessie. I'll put the actual title on the screen, but this is a quilted geometric art to wear vest, and I just thought it was incredible. It was, it was retailed for $729. I did get this off of ThredUp, and it was kind of a gamble. I did pay $20. I had it listed for $100 plus $10 shipping on eBay, and someone did offer me half price at $50 plus $10 shipping, which I did accept. I know, very bold, but I just figured that I hadn't had any traction on it on any other platform. It was technically my first interested buyer, and I believe for that brand not being well known, I just decided to take it. So it cost me $7.10 to ship. I did have this item promoted, so those fees were $3.21, and my fees to eBay were $8.55. I left with a profit of $31.14. I do average my cost of goods for 2025, and it is sitting at $6. I know that I paid $20 for this, but either way, $20 or $6, I am happy with that profit. Our next item is something that was found by my husband. They are these Trelux high definition, I want to say hair, long lasting defined curls. It's like a hair gel or something. I was at Walgreens doing my couponing, and my husband was with me, very bored, and he decided to look down the clearance aisle. He found about, I want to say 12 or 15 of these, and we did look them up on eBay, and it seemed like they were doing well. Usually I have bad luck with these types of items, but it must be his good luck that has brought me good luck with these, because they have been flying out my door. I have them listed on Poshmark at $36, and a lovely buyer sent me a $30 offer, which I thought was very reasonable. My fees to Poshmark were $6, and I was left with a profit of $24. And I've already sold, I want to say 2 or 3 lots of these already, so all of them are paid for. That is just pure profit, which I am very, very thrilled with. Okay, only 4 more items. So the next item to sell on eBay were these Law of 2 Maui Shea Moisture, also like hair creams. And I did coupon these, and I had them listed on eBay for $19.99 plus $5 shipping. Originally, the buyer sent me a $10 offer plus $5 shipping, which I then countered to $15 plus $5 shipping, and they did accept. It cost me $6.03 to ship because they live only a couple cities away from me, which is really nice. I did have this item promoted, so those fees were $1.08. My fees to eBay were $3.14, which left me with a profit of $9.75. So I had about $1 each into these, so $2 total, and that is $9.75 back into my couponing fund, which I am very happy with. I just went couponing yesterday, and I definitely could use that money to put back into my PayPal. Now, my next sale is on Mercari, of all places, and this is another item that I sourced off of ThreadUp that I was hoping to get more for, but I had only a few interested buyers and only one to send me an offer, so I decided to take it. It is by Aloe Yoga, and it is this really cool black hooded mesh detailed sweater. And it does say aloe on the sleeve, and it says mindful movement on it. I thought it was really, really cool. So, like I said, I did source this off of ThreadUp for probably about, I want to say $20. Like I said, my cost of goods for all of 2025 is $6. So, I had it listed on Mercari for $80 and I received an offer of $50, which I did accept. My fees off of Mercari were $5 and it cost me $7.10 to ship. So that leaves me with a profit of around $35 to $37, which for me is fantastic, and I'm very happy with the fast flip. That and the vest was only listed for about a month. So I'm very, very happy to get items in and out of my closet within 30 days. That's fantastic. Okay, two more sales left. The second to last is this Shea Moisture Hair Oil. I just couponed this. I have about $1 into it. I listed it for $13.99 plus free ship on eBay, which a buyer just came in and graciously bought outright. Very, very happy with full price sales. It cost me $4.49 to ship the item. My fees to eBay were $2.33, and I was left with a profit of $7.17, which just goes right back into my PayPal couponing fund. Now, last but not least, I have this beautiful 100% silk limited America, there's the tag, beautiful midi floral skirt. Absolutely nothing wrong with this. I did get it at a $2.99 Salvation Army sale. I had it listed for $38 on Poshmark, and a buyer offered me $28, which I did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $5.60, and my profit after that fee was taken out is $22.40, which I am thrilled with. Now, for these two items, now that Poshmark is not using the USPS Priority Mail packaging, so these sold on Poshmark, these sold on eBay, I will be using similar wrapping techniques. So I will be using this reusable, I got this from an Amazon package myself, so I'm going to reuse this and wrap those up separately, and then I am going to reuse an Amazon padded mailer. That is very easy for me. Our house is an Amazon house, and we have at least 3 or 4 items shipped to us daily, which is just excessive, and my husband just told me we need to stop ordering stuff. So I am happy that I am able to reuse those mailers. I am looking into ordering biodegradable mailers, and now that Poshmark has switched. For me, I don't have any faith in the USPS system when it comes to them giving us ground mailers. I did call them, left them a voicemail. I did email them. I haven't heard back. So I am hopeful, but at this point, I think that it is going to be on us Poshmark users to get our own shipping supplies. So I will be looking into that. And if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Those are all my sales for the rest of this week. I hope that you guys had a blast following along, and I hope that you guys have a fantastic week this next coming week. Until next time. We've already said our goodbyes, but when I was packaging these up, I realized that I did order these mailers from Impact Co. I ordered them off of Amazon and they are biodegradable. Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking they're more expensive, who cares? But for me, I really try to reduce my use of plastic on a daily basis. So these work best for me, and they do have different designs. This is just the one that I use. I really ordered these for my male buyers. So I will look into more and link these down below, hopefully. I do love my shipping hip mailers. So I do have the lemons and I have the seashells, and I have another pack downstairs that aren't open yet that are a different print. I love using these. Ginger Marvin has a code that I use, and I will also put her code down in the description box so you can benefit from that also. I believe it's 15% off, which is awesome. So just to give you a brief insight into the mailers that I use and the ones that I think I'll be using for our ground shipping if USPS does not contact me back. I'm sorry, it looks like our gardeners got here and they're blowing some stuff around. But anyways, you guys have a fantastic week and I'll talk to you soon.